You are listening to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, coming to you live on 105.3 right up to 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. UPRNTalkRadio.com.
Want to talk about the viral alien footage from Peru tonight? How about the Lyrians, or even supposedly Bigfoot, caught in Yellowstone Park? Stay tuned for the thing at the foot of the bed and join us for the fun.
When they are consuming your mind and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Oh.
Oh, David was covering himself up. Welcome. If you're just tuning in, you are listening to or watching The Thing at the Foot of the Bed on UFO Paranormal Radio Network, otherwise known as United Public Radio Network. I don't remember when I told you first, or just plain old UPRN on 105.3 and 107.7 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans. I am one of the hosts on UPRN here, and I'm joined by my amazing co-host, who I will introduce in 1 second. I always get the housekeeping things out of the way. We thought we'd try something new tonight, give you a little hint. I usually do with the videos anyways. I animate them and give you little clips so you kind of have an idea what we're talking about tonight. But I am a Lorilei Potvin, a Canadian clairvoyant medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor, registered nurse, and I'm very well versed in the paranormal. And if you've never been here before, welcome. We got lots of y'all here. We got Robin from Halfern Paranormal in the UK. We got Happy O'Dell, who owns the Rift Network. He's got his own amazing show on there that David and I have joined him and his amazing co-host with on the Orion Effect before. We've got Zach Powers, who's a huge supporter of our network. We got Nicole Thomas Ryan. Got all kinds of people. So if you want to join the chat, all you got to do is head over to UFO Paranormal Radio, either on Facebook or YouTube. You can join my amazing co-host, David's channels. He's got the Spirit Experience, the group he's streaming to, and his YouTube channel by the same name. You can also go to my YouTube channel, which is, what is it? The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin, or just see my Facebook profile because it's public so anybody can see there. Also, I am a host of my own show on the network here on Monday nights called The Angel Rock, and it's from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. We are streaming to also UFO Paranormal Radio has its own Roku channel. We are streaming our show there tonight, so we are on TV. If you want to find the channel, you go to the channel store. You're going to log in, obviously, before. You can look for UFO space P as in paranormal. It'll come up. There's a whole list. We're about the third or fourth one down. You're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio. Now, if you like what you see here, please like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends. We've been around with this network for 25 plus years. That we have multiple amazing hosts and shows, and new ones always joining the network too. We have syndicated shows. There's something for everybody. And when we're not streaming live, which is very rarely, we also have our archive server going on. Lastly, and I'm going to have to say this a few times, hi, Heather Cooper. We got Liam Morgan. We got Sandra Sharp. So you know, you're going to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give them permission to use your picture and your name. Or you, this only happens if you're on Facebook, by the way. It'll come up Facebook user. You can choose to stay anonymous because we do involve you in part of the show here. We'd love to have our audience as part of it. Or just put your name behind your comment. I think I remembered everything. Poor Dave sitting there waiting. Dave,
okay.
Wonderful stuff.
I am just over here swinging on the swing and enjoying it. We were, hi you guys, real quickly. My name is David Hanzel. I am a spiritual medium, channel, counselor, all kinds of stuff. paranormal investigator. I love metaphysics. I love all those things. And currently, I'm studying hermetics. And
you didn't
that
even
is,
tell me that one.
yeah.
You didn't even tell me that one.
Nope, I've been studying it, and I just wrote another essay today. And it's basically about the principles of the universe and stuff like that, the 7 principles. Anyway, we were at I was up in the mountains today by my house, and Lorilei was of course, at home in Canada, and we did a live on my TikTok. So I was sitting on my butt on this picnic table for an hour and a half, and so it feels good to sit on like 7 pillows on my swing and just kind of swing. And we're wearing our tank tops because it's hot where we are. It's hot. We just cannot get out of the heat. So we're going to talk about. We'll start the show with what's at the end of mine and Lorilei's foot of our beds, and let's see which one do we do? You go ahead, pick, just shout it out.
Well, I want to say to Robin, because yes, I did join them on their podcast. I'm sorry, Robin, I'm glad you said that. He does have a podcast with AJ Capasso and Jonathan, and it is called Talking with the Source. And their guest wasn't able to show up, and they just got the perfect timing because my weekend was crazy. When is life not crazy at my house? So I want to give them a shout out with that. They did have me on there. We had a great conversation. Thanks, Robin.
Actually, Robin, I got to actually tell you, Robin, I remember you did message me about your show, and I haven't forgotten. The message got buried to the bottom. So contact me again if you want to, and I got you covered. Anyway, go right ahead.
Robin, how he says, Robin, shout out. Yes, definitely. Okay, let's get into the show, you guys. So we were talking about, I don't know, or do you want to? Well, no, we'll save it for later because I did a live. I went live on Instagram for the first time, and I talked about we're losing the art of conversation between people to people or person to persons, and versus the digital age. If we have time, we'll talk a little bit about that. But Dave, you sent me something interesting that I did not see because I have not had a chance really to be on the internet. I've got family in from out of town, death in the family. Grandpuppies, they're all in here. Hopefully nobody barks. It's been crazy. But you sent me that viral video. I did download it. If you want me to play it, I certainly can.
Which one you want to do first? The aliens or Bigfoot? We got aliens and Bigfoot tonight, guys. What do you want to
start with when you sent me the one in Peru, the viral video in Peru?
Yeah, so before you set that up, let me just fill you guys in case you haven't heard. So they've been seeing all these aliens in Peru these last couple of days, and they have nicknamed them the face eaters and whatever, so on and so forth, and showing some pictures, which to me aren't very, and I always look at everything from a very skeptical standpoint at first. Okay, I have a very healthy dose of skepticism for things. Okay, now aliens, I have to say, I know that they're real. Or I hate to call them aliens, otherworldly beings and UAPs. I know that's real. The Peru ones bother me because I have been telling people over and over, they're going to start coming out with as much fear as they possibly can with aliens. And I know the reason is I don't know who's doing it. I don't know, but I looked up some stuff about Peru and found out that they're in a big tiff with their government as of 2 weeks ago. They've been doing all these things. So that's what made me think the UFO crap with the face eaters and these aliens eating people and dismembering them and whatever they're saying. I personally, in my heart of hearts, I have to say I don't believe that part for one bit. Only because I know how people are. And I don't believe it. Somebody'd have to really prove to me something else is going on. Although I do believe that they are showing up there. They have been showing up in that part of the world for quite a while now. What's your take on that, Lorilei?
Oh yeah, well, I don't know if any of y'all know Johnny Enoch or not. I do know who he is from a mutual friend of ours, Derek White Sky Cloud. Oh, hang on, now it's going to play. Don't play. Thank you. So he also talked about and happy International Cat Day yesterday for all our cat people out with them, like us. I love all animals, so does Dave. So we've got Kim Lawful Hosts, and we got Roger Garza Sr. Hello, welcome. I will give you guys a shout out too. They have two amazing shows on the network. It's a husband and wife team. It is Roger and Faye Garza. Roger Garza Sr. He is a medium, and he has Wednesday night Latino Psychic Visions, and he has Saturday mornings. This mug's for you. I had to think about it for a minute. So welcome. We're glad to have you here. And Kim says, yay, aliens, because we remember, Kim, I think it was you that asked us both 2 weeks in a row, right towards the end of the show, about aliens. And then she says, face eaters, wah, ha, 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 ha. So let me see if we can share this video that Dave did his homework this week. So thank goodness.
A little bit.
He did. Well, like I said, it kind of goes between us. That's the beauty. And wrong one. With co-hosting together. Sorry, I'm doing 10 things at once here, trying to get this to share. I got a new computer coming, y'all. It's my birthday on Tuesday, and I treated myself. Oh, it's not going to touch screen, so we got to use the pointer. There we go. Let me see if I can make it full screen. Okay, there, I got it full screen. Now we'll go over to StreamYard.
I would be good on a spaceship because I can twirl in this chair and I'm totally comfortable with it.
Are you okay? We're going to add it and then I'll play it once I get it added. Okay. You let me know when you can see it, Dave, because my computer's.
Gotcha.
Okay. Thanks. I seen Howie's comment. Okay. We're going to play it all. It's not that big.
Information is being released about the mysterious entities that were sighted in Peru.
Come on. Let me blow you up. It won't let me blow
Oddly enough, since the topic has been trending, locals have been posting photographs of the alleged creatures, with some describing them as giving off bright lights, while others have said that they have big heads with large eyes. This photograph was just posted online by a local called Alfredo. He details that he lives in Iquitos and that during the night, something was emitting a bright light in his garden. Thinking that it was someone with a flashlight, he decided to investigate. As he made his way outside, he could hear movement, and because of this, he was hesitant to approach. However, as he did, he encountered what he described was a humanoid-like figure that was emitting a bright light. It was so bright that it lit up his entire garden, and he even detailed that it hurt his eyes to look directly at it. He grabbed his phone and took several photographs, but due to how bright the light was, this entity only showed up in two of them.
So hard to see.
The whole encounter lasted no more than 20 seconds, and after the photographs were taken, Alfredo said that the light vanished from the being and it left the area.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
He switched on the light on his phone, but could no longer see the entity. After this, he quickly made his way inside. Interestingly, he said that this isn't the first time that these entities have been witnessed, and detailed that locals have allegedly been encountering them now for several months. Black helicopters have also been observed in the area. Those who investigate the unknown have said that black helicopters have been a recurring and perplexing element that often accompanies reports of unidentified objects. These ominous aircraft, painted in dark hues and often lacking visible markings, have sparked intrigue and speculation among enthusiasts. The term black helicopters gained prominence during the 1970s and 1980s. These helicopters are characterized by their dark color, often devoid of standard aviation markings or insignia.
You don't have to, because
they frequently describe them as flying low.
That's not what we're talking about. We're not doing
Helicopters have actually quite a bit to do with it, because those helicopters tend to show up when there's alien things going on, or paranormal type stuff. I'm not really concerned about the helicopters, as you aren't either. I do think if there was hoaxy,
it's a different show. We did the helicopters.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's I don't know. It seems to me that if there was something hoaxy going on, it's being caused by the helicopters. That'd be the dead giveaway. But I'm not sure. Now, the one video that I sent you where the guy got like the egg-shaped orb, did you see that?
I thought that was the one. I'm not sure. I'll have to go through it. I forgot
the picture of the aliens. They're saying these are actually pictures of the beings. I hate calling them aliens, but
what I'm going to do is I'll send them to me on Facebook because I downloaded them and then I can enlarge them. But, okay, for example, I'm going to give y'all, this has nothing to do for a second with the topic, but just for reference, okay? You have to be so careful. And you really do have to do your own research. It doesn't matter what it is. And the reason why I say this is, I don't know if any of you, I follow all kinds of trends. I'm a true crime fan. I kind of stay on, I'm not a fan of Hollywood or anything like that, but I keep on top of news because depending on what podcast I'm on, people may talk about it or whatever. Or sometimes things come up to what I'm going to reference right now that we can kind of relate to what we're talking about. So there was a viral young girl by the name of Little Tay that was from Canada. She was about 8 years old. The things coming out of that girl's mouth, my God. And she was flexing is the word the kids are using. So she'd have pictures of her with Lamborghinis and cash. And she was faking this big lifestyle that she was living with. She was seen with all these celebrities and rappers, and people are going, how does an 8-year-old girl know about all this stuff and whatever, right? Then she kind of died off of social media. She had like 3 or 4 million followers. Well, this weekend, yesterday, there was a big announcement that she had tragically died at 14 years of age, kind of shrouded with mystery, and that her older brother, who they had alleged was the one that was coaching her on these videos, okay, he had died too, but nobody knew what this was. And of course, internet sleuths out there, sometimes they're good, sometimes not so good. They went into all the records in Canada of a 14-year-old that might have died, and they found a news report of a 14-year-old that very tragically died. 4 kids were injured, and she was the one that passed away in a jet ski accident. I know, Dave, I can hear him think, where the heck is she going with this? My whole point is, okay, so this was everywhere. It was going viral yesterday in entertainment news. Guess what they found out today? It's not dead. What happened was her social media, which she hasn't posted on since 2018, somebody hacked into it and took over her whole page and said that she had died, and it spread like wildfire. And thank goodness she's alive, and so was her brother. Nothing's happened to them. But this is what I'm talking about. And I mean, some really big channels were jumping on this. We're talking People Magazine, like every news agency, even people that cover entertainment news were talking about this. And we find out today, none of it is true. So that's my whole point with this alien stuff or with anything. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here, but I think we have a responsibility to really do a lot of searching, especially when we find things that, well, that was a mainstream topic once upon a time ago. We really need to take a look. Wouldn't you say so, Dave? Because look what you found out about this story.
Oh, yeah, because even everybody was running about Peru, and then I got more interested in when I dug just a tiny bit. You literally didn't even have to dig deep. All of a sudden it popped up about the fighting in Peru. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, here we go. And it's a funny thing too, I'm going to join you a little bit though on the conspiracy stuff, Lorilei. I am.
Okay.
A little bit, because of the fact that if you look at it this way, they're having a fight with their government, aliens show up. We were doing something with our government. All of a sudden, we started getting UAPs floating all over the place. And now people are noticing them. Where they've been there all the time. But then that comes out in the news. It seems like it's I don't know who the powers that be think that we are all that stupid. That every time there's some important thing.
People buy it.
Yeah, and people buy it. Yeah, as soon as there goes something wrong, all of a sudden they go, oh, there's an alien and it's ripping people's faces off. No, it's not. And even like now the Bigfoot sightings thing, that's a little different because people it's funny that they don't use Bigfoot sightings for that. But I think they're kind of afraid to do that because with all these yahoos who have so many bangs, they might all start running out in the woods trying to catch something, and do something, which I think makes me mad. Not to go off the alien subject because I'm still there, but in the Bigfoot world, when people go out there to shoot a Bigfoot, that is their sole purpose. Oh, for no shoot, well, I won't be able to study it. I don't give a crap. I don't care how his system works. I want to say hi.
Say hi?
Yeah, I don't care if he's got a spleen or heart or lungs. I just want to say hello. I
don't understand. Well, I do understand, but I think it's horrific that that's all they want to do is get a piece of them because they think it's going to go viral and they're going to become world famous, like the Patterson, please forgive me, I can't remember the second name, of the footage of the Bigfoot. Best video footage supposedly ever caught back in the 60s of Bigfoot, right?
Yeah.
And so people are looking for this same thing. And this is where we end up with all this drama and people out to faking things. And especially nowadays with AI, with deep fakes, with all the things that are out there. And it is virtually, I've had people that work in video editing and stuff. And a lot of times, especially if you're good at it, it is really difficult to tell whether it's real or it isn't. If
Yeah.
somebody knows what they're doing, like I've seen, I think I talked about this last week, or it might have been on the Angel Rock, and it was something Spikers, JD Spikers or something from South America, and he made it look like his niece with Amy was being haunted by this ghost, and there was a whole story, and you seen the little one sitting on the floor in the living room at 3 a.m. and he heard her laughing and giggling, and he goes in there and his niece is asleep, and there's these hands coming out of a cabinet behind her and playing with her hair and giggling. And as he goes to, there's no cut in the video, as he goes around to look, there's nothing there. Like, and then he finally admits he works in this kind of field for movies and all kinds of things. And there's still paranormal channels who haven't really dug to find out the story behind this. They haven't realized that he has come out and said, this is not real. I did it for story potential. And basically, I think to showcase his work when he's looking for contracts and stuff, working with movie and big blockbuster editing things. So that's what I'm saying. It's almost impossible to tell. So you almost need to talk to the locals and do your digging with the news and find out what's going on.
I think that the people who spend so much time, especially now I won't say youngsters, it's any age, the people who spend so much time with these videos, trying to make people believe it's real, are the same people who probably have zero belief in it to begin with.
You know, should I pull up the Bigfoot footage from Yellowstone? Because Dave, you didn't say a lot, but when you sent it to me, as soon as I started watching, I went, what? You're kidding me.
Yeah, it's always a shot from 17,000 light years away, and it's always a shaky well, this camera wasn't shaky, but it's like everybody in the free world has zoom on their camera. You could zoom in. They wouldn't even zoom in. Although the face one was good. Did you see that one?
The one? What one?
One with the face.
Is that in this? I just downloaded a bunch she sent me. I've got them, so I'm going to play them from my downloaded, so I can make them bigger, guys. And I apologize about that. I should almost blow up this alien one, so people alien one, so people could see, because I know you guys couldn't see. You could see the helicopters, but what it was it looks like the outline of a gray. You can tell by the head shape and the body shape. And it's illuminated. And I did a bit of digging. It said that they only got 2 pictures, I think, or clips of very short, like within seconds of this. The rest of them, there was nothing there.
That's odd. I'm not quite sure how it goes. It was kind of, they're all over the place. That one, I watched it from a different.
Okay, well, I'll pull it up. Hang on, because I sent it to myself so we can open it and play it from here. So I got the one you sent me with the like the trail cam. I've got the girl talking about it. I've got the full clip of the UFO, or sorry, the Bigfoot one, alien invasion, what on earth is happening in Peru update. Is that what you were talking about with the orbs?
No. Yeah, I think there was one with the orbs. So they're showing a big orb. I agreed with the guys who are doing it. It's
like third phase of moon one?
Yeah, third phase of the moon.
How long is that one, Dave? I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Oh, it's super long, but in the beginning they start showing the footage right away. But like they even said, and I agree with them, they said, the way it's got lights on it and everything, it's more like a drone than anything. And if somebody did fake it, they did a good job.
I'm gonna upload this
but
one here.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. It just makes nothing. No.
Do you want me to share this Bigfoot one, or you want to keep? Hi, Debbie Grasberger Schmoley.
We can
both. And then we still got Facebook user. I'm not sure who it is. Hi, Facebook user. We love you. We're glad you're here, but we don't know who you are. So if you want to let us know, it'd be great. If not, we'll just call you Facebook user, and that's okay too. We respect everyone's user. So, and I've got it scrolling across the bottom. If you're not sure where to go on StreamYard, if you want to give them a quick yep, and they'll use your picture, or what people have been doing is hopping over to their own YouTube channels, and then you don't have to worry about that. It's Lori Yanni. Oh, Debbie Grasberger Schmoley said the Facebook user.
It's Lori, yeah.
Oh, Alien Believers is here. Larry from Canada. We can see you, Alien Believers, because you're on YouTube, and said, sending always, love always and forever. Well, right back at all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alien Believers. We're talking about Alien. So
we are. Do you want me to show? Okay, so what do you want me to show? Like, do you want me just to?
Let's do a surprise.
Okay, well, we'll see what comes up. What have I got up? Oh, I got the Bigfoot. I'm not big surprise.
Just so you guys know, me and Lorilei has discussed this, and I am a firm believer that while there's a lot of theories about where Bigfoot comes from, and I know a couple of them, but I'm not sure which one. But I do know that they're interdimensional beings. But they pretty much usually, if people paid more attention, when there is a UFO sighting, there's usually a Bigfoot somewhere.
We got them all where I live in Canada. Okay, you ready? Because I'm going to try. I think I have to push play first and then blow it up. So give me a sec. Play. Yeah, that's what I got to do. So wait till you all see how small this is. And this is how they've decided this is a Bigfoot. This is going viral in Yellowstone National Park, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, Yellowstone.
Oh, you know what I did? I didn't. Oh, darn it! There are so many.
The thing that kills me is that the thing that kills me is that if you watch the thing, the guys who apparently took the video and that you can hear them, they go, "Oh, it's a couple of bears." They took it to the rangers to say that they got some bears on there, and then he said the ranger said, "Those aren't bears. They're walking upright. Those are a couple of Bigfoots." How many park rangers do you know come out and go, those are a couple of Bigfoots?
And how would you know? Okay, hang on. Let's try this again. I forgot to share it, and I got to push play first, and then I'll blow it up as big as I can, y'all. Wait till you see how small this is.
Video sent to me by several followers. I even got sent this video by the original person who put it out, the movie guy. Thank you, sir. Remarkable film. Y'all watch this film?
Hi, Neil.
Decide what y'all think. Tell me in comments what y'all think.
Can't y'all tell
that a Bigfoot or not? They captured at Yellowstone National Park. Thank you for the share.
Now they're going to slow it down for you.
The thing that kills me on these videos is they go, this is a Bigfoot. You let me know if this is a Bigfoot or not. Who in the hell can tell from here? It's like, I don't know. It could be two bugs walking across a windshield if all I know.
It could be two bears. Like, you can't even tell something's bipedal. And believe me, folks,
now,
you know,
let's slow it down, zoom in, get a better look. Y'all tell me, what is that?
Oh, here's another angle. I didn't get this one, did I? What if it's...
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
What if it just looks like it? I mean, there's a billion other animals in Yellowstone, too. Maybe it's one of those sun bears.
How do you know it's not even a dog man? I'm sorry, but really, it could be anything.
It could be anything.
Everybody's laughing. Everybody's like, ha, 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 ha. Howie said that Skinwalker Ranch footage.
It could just be, what if it's just two people walking back there?
I don't know. Hang on, now I got to blow it. Here, I'll stop sharing it. No, we don't want that. Go back. Go back so it'll stop. Okay, there we go. Now I got to make this super small. Oh my God, it's so huge. Facebook, let me blow it down. Thank God I can do this. I can't, but what happens, guys, when I hit share, I got to push the button and then try and get it big as I can. Howie agree, or Nicole says, Howie, I agree. So, well then, you know what I learned recently that I did not know about? And I did know about it, but I didn't know it was known by this title, and it originated at Skinwalker Ranch, is the hitchhiker effect. I think I asked you if you'd heard of it before, didn't I, Dave?
The hitchhiker effect?
Yeah, did I ask you?
No.
Okay, I asked somebody, but I found out what it is. And I'm sure most of y'all that are involved in the paranormal community and had paranormal activity have experienced this. And apparently this is where this phrase was coined, from Skinwalker Ranch. But you go to a notorious Shannon Casey. Oh, wait, let's give him a shout out. We got to do it. We got to do it before we get into the I'm saying Skinwalker effect, you know what I mean, the hitchhiker effect. So Shannon Casey, that's the nurse that works in one of the rehab hospitals, and she has a group of we'll say wizened people that have lived a long time. I don't like to use the word elderly, but they all gather around when Shannon's working evenings and listening to our show on her iPad. And it started, I think, with one or two. Now there's a whole group. And she says, they've named themselves this. We haven't called them that. They say, paranormal poopers have finally arrived. Sorry, we had technical difficulties. So we're so glad you're here, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Skinwalker. Oh, go ahead and explain.
Okay.
What the hitchhiker effect.
I will. So Susan, hi, nice to see you. So, okay. So what the hitchhiker effect is that you go to a notoriously haunted place. So a place with paranormal activity. Could be cryptids, could be aliens, could be anything like this. And then you do your thing, right? Maybe catch some really weird stuff on camera, video, whatever, audio. And then you come home and you're living your life, and all of a sudden the people around you start to experience activity. They may be seeing things, they may be experiencing things. Maybe you're starting to have health problems, and it's almost like it almost spreads like a virus, and it doesn't matter where you move or what you do. And then the person that originally, I guess, brought the hitchhiker or the effect along, it's kind of spreads to everybody. So it's go ahead.
We've talked about that, and I said if somebody dies in a house.
I thought we talked about this. I just never called it that. Or Susan Long, antique furniture could be. But apparently that's where this phrase was coined. And the only place I could find some really good information, believe it or not, so that the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy didn't come up, was on this new search engine I have found. I do enjoy it. It certainly does give some good results. But it is AI. It's called UYOU.com. Found great information on there. Howie says that was me. Did I ask you about it, Howie? It was off air. It wasn't on air, but we've talked about it. We've just never called it on air, I think this.
Yeah. Now, the Skinwalker Ranch, I have to say, I'm sure there's a few things that go on over there, but I'm in agreement that that's one of the biggest grifts there is in the world.
Interesting. Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
I don't know what to make of it because I have seen footage from it. Then I have seen independent, very little known paranormal teams that are very professional have gone there and they don't get anything. Like nothing happens.
Yeah, that's how I do. I'm like I said, I'm sure there's stuff that goes on, but I've seen some of the people they brought on. There's this one, and I don't know their name, nor am I going to call them out as crappy, but there's these guys there's three guys. One's the skeptic, one's the, tough guy, and one's the analytical guy. I can't remember the name of the group, but boy, they suck. Every time they're like, we have this. They do. I'm sorry. It is so scripted. It's disgusting. So I don't know if it's them that's bad or the people actually doing the documentary, because I'm like, they need to learn how to speak without it being like they're reading it from a prompter, And the only reason I know these things is I did 2 reality shows in North Carolina years and years ago. And one was on TV, and it was about how they go to these hillbilly houses and they have these cops go to these hillbilly houses and they bust people. I didn't know, I saw the show before, but guess what? I played one of the hillbillies one time.
Did you?
So yeah, it's the fakest show that possibly. And I used to tell people that show's fake. They're like, "Oh no, they're real. They're really going after these moonshiners."
People believe these
moonshiners.
People believe these things. Well, did you ever? I don't know what the name of it is. My partner Joe loves reality TV. He used to watch it once upon a time ago. It was a Bigfoot show, but it was a bunch of hillbillies. I think they were called Hillbilly Bigfoot Seekers or something.
Yeah.
And they wrote, that was literally, and I don't say, well, I'm just going to say it like how I feel. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it literally reminded me of Snow White's 7 dwarves, except that they weren't dwarves. They were taller men with these big long beards and their guns and their pitchforks running around trying to hunt Bigfoot. This was reality TV. So what I'm going to say, Howie, yes, we've talked about, that's what I said though. we talked about this effect many times, like on your show, the Orion effect. We've talked about it on air. I just never had heard it referred to by that title before.
The hitchhiker effect, yeah. Yeah, or we call it telephone too sometimes. Telephone is the same way too for that. My filter seems to be broken. Shannon says my filter's broken.
Yeah, Dave's filter's broken tonight. We were already live tonight, y'all. So what we go on Dave's TikTok because he has a huge following over there. So we get lots of people. We do readings. We do more spiritual type stuff. But we've been talking about it. Dave, I think we're going to, my Canadianism's coming in. We might try. I went live on Instagram yesterday myself. So I think we might try a few different platforms, but it's always nice when you got a lot of people, and Dave's got a built-in audience already. So that's usually why we do it, don't we?
It just works that way. When you talk about a filter, listen, when it comes to stuff like that, I know I don't have a filter because I try not to get angry because it's the wrong words to use, but in my business or Lorilei's business or Howie's business or Heifer Paranormal, Robin, all of us, when people come out there and make a mockery of stuff that we are literally busting our butts trying to get down to the truth of it all, it just makes me angry. And in reality TV shows, there is no such thing as a reality TV show.
There is not. Like, I've only seen our episode the first time it came out on Paranormal Survivor. And then I think I don't know, I think one of the Dells, two of their friends, his friends, don't believe in this kind of stuff, and they thought it was hilarious. So they wanted to watch it one night when they were over here. So Dell and I were explaining all the fake stuff in the episode versus what really happened. And then I was looking up the link, I think, for someone, and I happened to see there was a bunch of comments. I thought, well, what the heck are these people commenting on? Oh my Lord, that like people believe this stuff is real. And like, don't get me wrong, everything we said was real and the words honest God to truth. But in the reenactments, it didn't happen that way except for the ending. And people are going, well, you know, the reason why these people have this problem is because they're unmarried. They're living together in sin. They're common law. Another person wrote in the comment, I was peeing myself laughing. Then another woman wrote, and I could just hear the accent because she was kind of typing it the way you would hear the accent. She's going, well, y'all, it's because these people didn't get right with Jesus. They believe in demons. This is why they have these problems. And it's like, good Lord, people.
If you don't accept Jesus, you're going to have a demon knocking at your door, and that demon's going to be dropped off by a UFO in the sky with two cones who is backing it in like this, going, this way, UFO. There's some heathen over there. No, it's so crazy. I know, it's crazy. You listen, I know you might sound crazy, but I know for sure. I don't have a belief in UFOs. I have a knowing in UFOs. I don't have a belief in Bigfoot. I have a knowing. I don't have a belief in life after death. I have a knowing. There's a big difference between believing something and knowing something.
I love Neil's comment. Let's read it because I think.
What's the comment?
You want to read it or you want me to read it? I highlighted it.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so Neil, I think you said this beautifully. You said your world is a custom, unique experience for you, as in mine. How we decide how strange our world is. The more open you are, the more truths you will discover. And I could not agree more.
That is true. Our world our experience is, it might not be somebody else's experience to know about UFOs or aliens, but I'm like, well, if there isn't, then shut the hell up. Leave me alone. If you don't want it in your life, participate in.
And that's the problem. But the thing is, and I know you all have noticed this, right? It's not a topic that you're going to chit chat while you're waiting in line or across the pond in queue, to pay for groceries or something, right? But you're in a group of people and somebody kind of tests the waters. I don't know if maybe somebody's had not that I have a problem with it, but it kind of loosens the lips, right? Maybe a glass of wine or a beer or something, and they happen to mention something. And then another person mentions something, and then the door is kicked open wide to the paranormal. And I've yet to run into a scenario, whether it's a group of people all around me physically or online, whatever, and you find out it seems at least 90% of the group that might be a little bit high, has had some kind of strange, unexplained situation, or they actually believe in ghosts. And it could even be higher, or it could be a little lower, but it is actually higher because people don't want to say anything, right?
Yep, that's right. Now I wrote this right here, and you guys, I'll put it out there. When I just don't know where I'm going to put it out. I might put it on my blog or something. But I wrote this long essay here, and the title of the essay is "The Impact of Otherworldly Beings on Religion: A Paradigm Shift." So I wrote this big long thing. It's not real long, and it's easy. It's an easy read. Since we're talking about religion and UFOs and all this, I thought about it and I did a bunch of research, and it's about, how religion is going to have to change the minute anything lands on, the minute that saucer lands on the ground and Fox News is out there watching it, it's going to be on their TV and it's going to be real, and everybody's going to have to change everything and unlearn everything they needed that they learned so far about where they actually came from. And it's going to have a big impact on religion. And I'm not happy about it. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, good, I'm glad they're getting screwed, because that's going to be very, very difficult for people. It would be, it would literally be like if all of a sudden, like if somebody walked in my door right now and said, Dave, you've been on candid camera for the last 50 odd years. Ha ha ha. I'd be like, what? It would kill me. So I think that I do feel sorry for those people, and I understand why these otherworldly beings are picking the absolute perfect time to be here. And that's another reason why I don't think the perfect time to be here isn't to come and eat people's faces in Peru. I think it's kind of silly.
Well, you had a picture, but I don't know if you found it, but you said it looks so fake. There was a picture with this, did you say a skull?
The skull, yeah. There's one picture of the guy with the skull, and they're like, oh, this is one of them. And it's like this, he's like wearing his jeans. Okay, here's the funny thing. So they just took this picture not long ago. Do you know how warm it is in Peru right now? This body's wearing blue jeans and a flannel, and it has just the skull. And it's so beautifully, I mean, the skull is beautiful. It's like
it's polished.
And they polished it and they dunked it in bleach and got it. And I'm like, no, you idiot, stop it. But like what Neil so eloquently said, if that's the experience somebody wants to have, so be it. But I don't know. I don't want to go through life ignorant.
But the problem is, and I'm going to go back to Neil, is I think, and we talked about this before we went live here on TikTok, we were saying, because I love how spirit works always. There's always kind of a theme with the readings, right? The more you do, the more it kind of seems to all kind of interrelate. And because people don't realize how powerful they are. We've never been taught, right? Or that our thoughts, our words, and our emotions are that powerful. So what people's reality is, or what their belief is, like attracts like energy. So you're gonna create the experience you're open to. And if you're not open to it for whatever reason, or refuse to consider that we aren't, or that they think that we're the only living organisms in all of the universe, which seems so unrealistic. I don't know how you could think that we are, but some people do, right? Yeah. So they're never going to be open to that. The way I always say people are open to an experience if they've been closed-minded, the only way it's ever going to happen is if it affects them or a loved one. It comes into their bubble, and all of a sudden something so unexplained happens to them and they just can't believe it, right? And then that opens their eyes, because either they want to stick their head in the sand, but they still want answers. Like, what did I just experience? Am I going crazy? It's the only way people open their minds, if they're not open-minded to begin with, is what I believe.
Yeah, and sometimes you just gotta let people. That's what we were talking today. And there's a lady popped in our live, and I was gonna give her a reading, but I said she didn't ask for one, so I can't do that, because I discussed with my guides, and one of my rules is not without being asked, which means just offer opinions unless I'm asking. But we're doing a show, so it's okay, because the most important thing one of my guides said to me And it was heartbreaking to hear, but I think they were right. And he said, sometimes you have to let them sleep. And I said, oh, that's true. You totally got it, dude. Sometimes you just can't mess with other people's lives because they don't want a part of this at all. But I think some people are going
to have to respect it. We have to respect it. It's the same thing when somebody so desperately believes something, and I'm not trying to open a can of worms, so I'm not going to use an example, but they so desperately believe it, and they try to convince you of their belief system, right? And it's like, no, I know better. I know what the difference is. I know, like you just said, it's not that we're guessing or feeling. We know that these kind of things that we're talking about actually exist. But even I'll use religion, for example. You get somebody that is so passionate about their belief system that they want to tell the whole world and they want to convert the whole world, and they're practically cramming it down your throat. We have met people like this, and I say this with no judgment, but it's kind of the same way, right? We have to respect their beliefs, and you kind of wish they'd respect our beliefs. That doesn't always happen, and it happens vice versa. So we know this stuff exists. But there's some people that are never, like you said, your guide said, Dave, they need to sleep. They're going to keep sleeping. And that's what they need.
I was thinking about it today too. And we do create our experience. In case in point, one of the best things I can tell you about having to do with this show. A couple months back, Lorilei and I were talking to you guys. Lorilei was talking about all the deer. Remember that? All the deer that you saw? So Lorilei had this story about where she was driving and there was like just a billion. Well, I'm going to embellish the story because
there was a lot.
Yeah, that's how telephone works. There's billions of deer, and they all were on their hind legs, ready to kick a butt. But anyway, there's a lot of deer. So we talked about deer for a little bit. The very next morning,
I remember this.
My office desk is facing out to this empty wooded lot next to me. I've lived here for 2 years and never saw a deer, and there was a deer just standing.
Didn't you send me a picture? You sent me a picture, didn't you?
I sent you a picture of it.
So, yeah.
He was just in the leaves, and he stood there long enough for me to see him, and then when I turned away, he was gone again, but I got a picture of him. I'm like, I got proof, dude, you were here. So it just goes to show you, that was in my experience, and I'm very well versed at knowing how to feel what I want. Mm-hmm. So if your feelings are very strong about something, the world manifests it for you. I mean, it just automatically does. That's why I tell people, if you sit there and you constantly tell people you have no money, or sit there and constantly tell people you're sick, or tell people that you're a loser, then that's what you become. Mm-hmm. Because you literally shape whatever you came in here as a hunk of clay. We are all silly putty. We can just stretch ourselves, lay down in a newspaper, and we can have like the Peanuts characters on the back. I mean, we're there.
Okay, so we got lots of comments. I won't highlight them. I'll just read them. I got Zach's highlight. I said, when the aliens land, eventually the word alien will become a pejorative term. Actually, I've been with the David, is it Gresh that was doing the congressional hearing, and he was talking about it. He said, I don't use the word alien. I call it non-human. I thought, well, I don't know if that's even
non-human or non-human entities or otherworldly beings or
no, something. That's the word he would only call it, a non-human. Even the people that I remember, I watched the clip, and there was a couple of clips, and people were asking him questions, and they were stumbling over it. He would say non-human. And they say, okay, non-human. And it was interesting. So Neil Carr says, like attracts like, we gravitate toward others. Oh, our third co-host is here, the beautiful Angel. I can't get too excited because I have 3 little poopsters in here that will all come running if I sound excited. Hi, baby. Sorry, I'm going to finish that. We gravitate towards others who reflect your beliefs and you reflect theirs. Let me add to that too. Sometimes when we need to work on something within ourselves, and you may get a pet peeve that irritates you, or somebody that irritates you, there's something about them. Sometimes we just don't like people, and that's okay too, right? We're not going to like everyone. But sometimes it's almost like you said, I'm going to build off that, Neil, that people reflect to you something that maybe needs looking at within yourself too. So we are actually mirrors for ourselves. Howie says our life is based on our reality, quantum, and Neil says, I literally just wrote this. Well, you did a fantastic job because that just said it in a nutshell. George, I did say hi to you. He's leaving. He goes, gotta go, y'all. Have a great night. I did say hi. I don't think you heard me. No, he just pops in though. So Howie says, y'all want to do another show? Well, I thought we were going to do another one sometime, Howie. You said, would love to have y'all, you know that. We know that. And Neil said, because we love to involve you guys. You have so much wisdom with what you share and your thoughts and humor. And Neil says we should know and be cool with our level. Those who are inquisitive and thirsty, share those on your level and befriend you, I think. Those more advanced, inquire. Those ignorant, avoid wasting time. I see what you're saying, avoid wasting the time. Yeah, and I think that that's just true, right? I think we have to be careful, not careful, but we have to be mindful of whom we share our energy with, because our energy, our time and our energy is precious. And I don't say that from an arrogant, standpoint or anything, but I think so. Don't you, Dave?
Yeah, you'd be surprised on how many people, the right people will always get together. When I was working my old job, me and my coworker, we were talking about, I don't remember what it was. We were talking about something just wacky way out there. And a customer turned around and he goes, what are you guys talking about? And we said, because, the customers didn't know what I did do for, outside of work. And we said, it's something kind of weird. He goes, well, what is it? We started telling him. This guy knew all about it too. We all started talking. We talked to this stranger about this weird subject for a good hour. And so the right people find us when we do. And that's what I said before. I don't talk to people unless they ask about it. I think
that's exactly what I do. If you bring it up, I'm happy to talk to you about it, but I'm not going there. So Facebook user, I'm not sure who you are, but thank you. Said, hi, Angel, sweetie, meow. Not sure who that is, but you can let us know. Go ahead, Dave. What?
That was Lori.
Oh, is that Lori?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. It seemed okay. Alien Believer says, what if they were always here and even born here?
They were born here. Oh, shall we go? Well, Alien Believer, as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, we are all have that same DNA in here. And yes, they were here long before the human species was. And a lot of us who are born here are genetically from that as well. So we've always been here.
So Howie, you said I was talking about your own show on my network, but that was really sweet of you. The only thing is you'll have to talk to Joe Montaldo about that. And I should give him a shout out. He's the owner of this network, United Public Radio Network, or UFO Paranormal Radio Network. It's just about the right time to be doing our call. We should be doing it on the hour, and I forget sometimes because we get so in-depth in conversation. And you were listening to The Thing at the Foot of the Bed. I'm one of your co-hosts, Lorilei Potvin, with my amazing co-host, David Hanzel, and our third, sometimes co-host, Angel. And you're listening to us right now live. And if you want to join in the conversation, if you're just listening and you want to watch, you can head over to UFO Paranormal Radio, either on Facebook or YouTube, also on Roku. Dave's got his YouTube channel, The Spirit Experience, or his group on Facebook. You can watch it on my YouTube channel, The Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin, and also my Facebook profile. Lots of different places to watch it. But what I do want to add, if you run into someone or someone pops in and goes, oh no, I missed half the show, don't worry about it. There is always an archive. We are carried wherever talk radio was carried, or podcasts, even the most obscure app. You can also find the videos on all the YouTube channels. I think mine's even backed up on Odyssey, our shows, and Rumble as well. And Dave was right. He brought this up during our live on your TikTok, Dave, that if you can't think about how my name, especially spelt so strange, or if you can't remember UPRN, because if you look that up, you're going to get all kinds of things. You have to type out the name. But David discovered if you type in The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, it comes up everywhere. Right, Dave?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff that comes up. I just typed it up on a normal thing. Yeah, it's like my name too. You guys, I did a story for a paper. I got interviewed for a paper out of the UK a little while back. And I did not know this. I did that interview. And then another person from the same paper, but now out of New York, called me up. So I did their interview. Next thing I know it, I typed in my name, and there's like 50,000 newspapers with that exact same article. It's like, do they sell this stuff?
Congratulations, Dave.
Yeah, so I guess if you just Google us, you'll just find us. It's getting that.
They'll find us, that's for sure. My name's spelled so strangely, but you look up the Angel Rock, you look up the thing at the foot of the bed, it comes up.
Yep.
We got Robert Odell. Hello from RVA on something Virginia. Maybe is that what that is?
Oh, that was Kim saying hi to Angel. Okay.
I'm not. Who was it?
Oh, Kim saying hi to Angel, but Robert Odell.
Yeah, from I'm not sure where RVA is. You'll have to let us know.
He's Alan Quartermain.
Okay, Dave is so right. The right people will be the right people. Trial and error, but we eventually all find each other. We got Mickey Vermouch here. Hopefully, I said your last name right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. If you guys like what you see, please share and like and subscribe. Tell all your friends. There are all kinds of shows here. You can. There's practically something for everybody here. So,
is anybody in our audience now? If I could ask you.
It's your brother Robert. I'm sorry. Hi, Robert. Now I know who you are. I kept going, why do I know that name? Sorry, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Anybody in the chat? I would ask everybody out, not in the chat, but you won't be able to respond to me. So anybody in the chat, have you had a sighting with your own eyes or something with a Bigfoot?
Not Bigfoot, yeah. Yeah, I'm asking about Bigfoot. I know you saw it. I guess they consider people who had something to do with aliens experiencers. I don't know where I fall in the experience one. I mean, I've saw them in the flesh, and I've had the missing time. has a wonderful crazy
time story.
But I'm going to add, because a lot of people bought into Sandra. I hope you're still here. She's been real quiet tonight, so I hope she's still tuned in. Sandra Sharp. Don't want to let you think that we forgot about you.
She's probably got aliens on the other line, and she's doing like a double chat.
Well, what I was going to say is Joe Montaldo, and I meant to give him more of a shout out. I got going on another tangent. He has UFO Undercover. He has News on the Flip Side. He's got The Centralist, and him and Michelle DeRoche, who has the show coming up, part 2. She has the first show Wednesday night with Amelia Pisano, the Outer Realm, and they're coming up right after this. They always have a great show, great guests. Anyways, him and Michelle were doing a show on Saturday evenings live called Gray Zone Uncensored. So I hear through the grapevine there may try to do that starting in the fall again. Really good show. Anyways, he has a study. And you can participate. It's pretty quick. And I hear he's revamping the website because I think Sandra went there and checked this out. But it's a 20-year plus study he runs ICAR, which is International Center for Alien Research. And he's looking at, I guess, Rh negative blood, green eyes, and red hair, which never existed within the human genome before 70,000 years ago. So where does it come from? I believe there's a few other little questions. Pretty simple to go into. You can find it when you go to the website. And he's found some interesting stuff. I went through his findings so far. It was pretty interesting what he had found. Because a lot of people basically have experiences or abductions. Anyways, my mother is a redhead with green eyes and Rh negative blood. Now, she doesn't believe in any of this stuff. She makes fun of people like myself and Dave that do this kind of stuff. But still, God knows, maybe she's been abducted. Because, yes, I do have a crazy story, Dave. Crazy. Missing time. Blinking my eyes. Hour and a half gone. Miles away from where I was. My car in the opposite direction. And I had no clue where I was. So crazy.
Those are weird. Neil had a...
Hi, Kelly Council. I highlighted you. Sorry.
Hi, Kelly. It says, there's a... Okay.
Is this the one?
Car, you said...
Well, let me go down.
Do you see it, Neil Carr? It feels like everything going on.
Okay, I'm still going. My computer. I can't wait for this new computer. They just shipped it today. So I've got Shannon. I've got Neil Carr developing discussion or lower. Sandra Sharp's here still listening while I got ready for bowling. Or it really feels like something going on. Is that it?
Yeah, it really feels like something's going on. So Neil Carr wrote, and I wanted to respond to this because I agree. He says it really feels like everything going on right now, precisely what needs to occur as our world transforms and ascends into something more with the pandemic, disruption of our routines and
Have to be careful with that word.
That's true. In fact, I gave a bunch of predictions back when the pandemic was first started.
Can't use that P word, Dave. I'm going to cut you off because we're
on
YouTube. Sorry.
So when the thing happened in
last 3 years.
So when it happened, I had been told we asked for this. We brought it in because things needed to change. The filters needed to come off. So all the people who inherently had all these like racist stuff inside them and everything, it all needs to come to the surface. Not to call them out, not to make them feel crappy, but to just it's what we talked about, like the dark night of the soul. You sometimes when there's something beneath you inside you that's negative, the best way to get rid of it is to bring it to the surface. Once you bring something negative to the surface, then it gets light shown on it, and then it's no longer dark. Well, it can still be dark, but it kind of relieves you of that pressure. The only way the world was going to change is if it got mixed up a bit and all the people who are hiding came out.
But that's like anything, right? And one of my sayings I always say is, it's not my own, but I've adopted it, is truth always rises to the surface. The light will always shine on the darkness, and what hides in the shadows will be revealed. I truly believe it. Maybe I'm manifesting it, but I don't think so. And I'm not saying globally. I'm saying for myself, when I know something's a bunch of BS and I put it back on my proverbial back shelf, I call it, and I know eventually light will be shone on it, but it is definitely the year. Sorry, guys, and I should explain that we're on YouTube, and we get dinged for everything. As our show, just so y'all know, just the beginning of it, which David Hanzel made that amazing, I'm going to give him huge props, that amazing intro we have. He got the music that's non-copyrighted. He wrote and narrated that poem at the beginning. He did the whole thing. He did an incredible job. We get dinged every time on Facebook, every week, that it's copyright. And I know with YouTube, we say any of those words. So I feel bad, but I want to stop Dave because he said it again. Because then if we get dinged, we can't down.
Because where Lorilei is, they listen to everything. So we just gotta watch.
We know our channel too. We lost our first channel first already. That's why we gone back to our old name. We used to be just known as United Public Radio Network. That's why I think we're back with UFO Paranormal Radio Network. That was our original name. And then when guests would come on, some people, the network's been around 25 plus years. There were people didn't want to be associated with UFO Paranormal. So our wonderful owner of the network, Joe, he chose United Public Radio Network, right? It's got no UFO or paranormal written in it. So that's why we're known by both names. But we have to be uber careful with any of those words. So just so y'all know, and sometimes we forget, we get talking. I jumped in.
Dell said, "Ooh, Peru is coming alive with entities." You're late, Robert. We talked about that in the first half.
We talked all about it. Yeah, you're going to have to go back. I was going back a little bit because people they answered your question. So Alien Believer says, alien ship, yes, but no Bigfoot with my own eyes. This one's funny. Not quite sure again who this is. Haven't seen paranormal, Bigfoot, aliens, or had an NDE. I got nothing with laughy emojis.
That's okay. You don't have to have anything. Trust me, it doesn't make us special that we have these things. It really, actually, I'll tell you, it's a whole different layer of life than everybody else.
You're just open-minded to be here, and I think that's enough as it is.
That's all that you need to be. You open your mind to stuff and then let your heart decide what's true and what's not true.
So Neil says discoveries of lost and ancient civilizations, megalithic structures, all of it's coming together. And I agree. So Zach, you want to read Zach's comment? I don't want to read them all here, Dave. So go ahead.
Never had the pleasure of seeing or meeting a Bigfoot. In all my experiences, never happened yet, but I am opening to seeing one. I am too, Zach. You know what? Because I told you guys how to see, how to connect to the elementals. It's basically you have to have the knowing that they're there, believe that they're there. You have to put it out there, and you'll eventually see them. I wonder if Bigfoot works the same way. And I have been sitting here. I've talked to the energy of Bigfoot. That's how I knew about the that they were
interdimensional
and all that, and I've talked to that, and my guides have told me about that. But I've been saying to myself, okay, I would really be open to seeing a Bigfoot. It would be very cool for my experience. So if this is possible, I would love you to pick your head out of the woods, and I'll be happy.
You could remote view one.
Yeah, you can remote view one. I haven't really tried to remote view that one. The only reason I haven't remote viewed a Bigfoot is because this. I like to validate even information that my guides give me. I try to validate it. I'm like, okay, they told me about this. I'm going to look it up and see if it's real. And it's like, holy shoot, it is. But if I remote view in Bigfoot country, I can't. I don't have my own personal validation. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not one of those psychics or mediums that go, well, no, I did it, so it's true. No.
I hear you.
Yeah, we have to validate ourselves.
I was just thinking, okay, so I was getting really in depth in my mind here. I was thinking if you could remote view it, have a conversation, let whomever, if you could connect with somebody within the area. This is just a whole scenario I developed in my brain right now, like it's going to happen, right? We know how the universe works, never try and figure it out. But I was thinking if you could connect with one that geographically was close to you, they would know you were okay. And then you might even just let them know, hey, dude, I'm going to be here in the forest. Anytime you want to drop in, I'm usually here around this time. I don't know. I was just thinking you might be able to build that trust is what I meant. Yeah. And then maybe you might feel like they could show up.
I still think that I'm going to see one day. I'm not worried about it. And I think just because of the fact that sometimes in this life, it's the impatience that gets us, because as soon as we put something out into the universe, it's already on its way. Mm-hmm. So, and sometimes I say, you know what, I gotta not look for the time it's gonna come, but the timing. So it's going to come when the timing is right.
And I always tell people, but say we're doing readings or together or separately, is please don't try and figure it out. Just put it out there, put the energy behind it, right? Positivity, belief that, it's going to be here, higher vibrational energy, the whole bit, and leave it to the universe. Because I guarantee you, and I bet you Dave's going to back me up on this, when we do manifest something or something happens, it never happens even remotely close to how we thought it would. I can tell you some of the things that have happened, I couldn't have figured it out in a million years the way it eventually comes to fruition. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that's true. I always tell that, that's something that I was taught by my spirit guides is once you think of what you want, go ahead and think of it, but then let it go and don't worry about how you get it. Just let it come, because it's most likely not going to come exactly the way you thought about it.
Dave, can you what you said was really cool. And I want to say hi to Cheryl M. Hines. We're going to read your comment. You said the coolest thing in our live today, and people were commenting about it. I think we were talking about how powerful we are. We can manifest, just kind of what we're talking about. And people had asked you about being an old soul and why we're here and why do we keep coming back. And remember you talked about picking things up and putting them in the basket. I think you're guiding that.
Yeah, I said I equated like people who are old souls. Basically the difference between an old soul and a young soul, whatever. An old soul isn't older by linear time or anything else. An old soul is just basically a soul that's had a lot of experiences. Not just here, but something else, a lot. And those old souls sometimes, because they're on a fast track to do something, they'll come here and they'll take on all kinds of crap because they know they can deal with it, and inside they do.
Yeah, but remember the analogy you gave? Your guide gave that to you. Sorry, go ahead.
Experiences, I always tell people it's kind of like picking berries. You come here and you got your little basket and you walk around Earth and you just pick all these experiences. Sometimes one of the experiences isn't going to be any good. It's going to be sour. It's going to be icky. It's not going to be good. But it had to come off that bush. It had to be experienced. And that's what you're doing. You're taking stuff throughout this life. You're putting it in your basket. And later on, you're going to go home and, I don't know, make a pot. Do whatever you do with it. But yeah. But basically,
it was such a cool analogy because we were talking about it. We were talking about Old Souls tonight, but I thought it was such Spirit reminded me of it. And I couldn't exactly remember what you had said till you said about the berries. And I thought, that's so cool. I'm going to read Cheryl's comment. Welcome. She's been on if you guys can check her out, she's amazing. Cheryl, feel free to share the name of your book. She was such a great guest. I've got to have her back on again. She's very intuitive. I remember psychic or whatever term you would like to use. And she's here tonight. She said, when I was 4 years old, I was terrified of owls in the dark. Ooh, I've been thinking about Mike Cleland all night tonight with owls and UFOs and aliens. She said, I would put my bed up against the wall, roll myself up in my blankets like a burrito, and I would tell my parents the owls would take me away. Now, I want to add something on there. A lot of people haven't heard of Mike Cleland. Some have. Have you heard of him, Dave?
They have to heard of McClellan?
No, just Cleland. Clelland. I think Preston Denning and Dolly Safran have a show. I noticed they had him on this week. I think it was or last week. So check it out on this network. It's a newer show. Please forgive me. I can't remember the name of the show at the moment. But anyways, they had Mike on. And I just happened to see him in a documentary. The Dell, my partner's always listening to something on YouTube. And he was talking about the association of seeing owls or owls appearing and the appearance of UFOs and aliens. And I am not doing this justice. If you want to know more about it, check out their show, or there's a lot of great presentations and lectures he's done. And, all he talked about and put things together, and I know it sounds crazy, but when you listen to him and you hear him, it's like, holy crap, yeah, that could happen. Well, or like you see baby owls, they kind of look like aliens.
That and their actions. If you think about owls, their actions and like a UAP are quite similar. An owl can observe at night. It works off vibration. It's a silent flight. I mean, you can't hear that thing flying through the trees to get something. The same is with ships. What's the biggest thing we hear about the ships?
Silent.
Them, they're silent, and they just show up and they just go away. And I think there's a coalition with owls and aliens as well. I think though.
What about octopus? What do you think about octopi?
I know. I think that they're extremely intelligent, and I think that we should stop eating them because
I know, but there have been a lot of people within the industry that are really guessing that they think that octopi or octopus are actually alien.
It could be a type of, who knows? I mean,
I wouldn't. Brilliant.
I'm open to it. If I can get one to talk to me, I'm totally open to it.
They're brilliant. Like, have you guys ever seen those videos of the ones in the lab? And these little monkeys, like, they literally are in a big tank. And once the scientists go home at night, they've got cameras running. These little monkeys go and are able to, it doesn't matter if it's a lock, what it is, they open up the top, they climb down, and they literally walk like when they're in the ocean. They walk and they'll go over and help themselves to where the shrimp is stored. Then they close it all back up. They walk right back over to where they went, go right back in the tank, close the lid like nothing happened. And I have seen video with that.
I love octopus. I think they're kind of cool, and I would not put it past to have like you heard the theory of Bigfoot, right? That
one
of the one theory, which is that, let's say the Anunnaki. We're gonna do a quick Anunnaki story. So the Anunnaki, we hear they needed some helpers to help them with stuff. So they took one of these species that was already here, that was a type of Homo sapien or something, and they They adjusted the DNA, tweaked the DNA in order to get it. And we are the people who, the other Anunnaki didn't care for it. So they're like, no, leave them be. Let them just go ahead and progress on. Let them do their thing now that we've done this. And we have, and we're human beings. Now, people say that Bigfoot are literally us if they didn't progress our way. So they were also part of we're actually.
They didn't have the tweak.
Yeah, they did. Well, they had a tweak, but they went there. They went one way, and human beings went another. So our tweak ended up into this hairless thing, because Bigfoot is actually they're still ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they're still ahead of us. Maybe not in technology, but they're ahead of us in spirituality. They know more about spirituality than any saint that ever came into this world.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they know a lot about that, and they know a lot about the human condition. And I know that they know, just from my channelings, I know that they know that human beings are hurting each other and they don't like it. And that's the weird thing. That's just a weird thing. I know it's
well,
crazy.
You know what? I talk about this, and I need to have him back on. I've had him on quite a few times, and he's amazing. He's fascinating. Is Paul Anthony Wallace, and he's got the trilogy series. It's Scars of Eden, Escape from Eden, and Paul, please forgive me, can't remember the third name off the top of my head. He's been on numerous times to talk about this, and this guy has come from a very religious background. He talks about all kinds of incredible topics and aliens, and he gets quite in depth. He runs, he's got 2 YouTube channels, one under his name. He's over in Australia. The other one is Fifth Dimension TV. I'm sure many of you in this field may not recognize, if you don't recognize his name, you'll recognize his face because his videos are all over the place. And he talks about this in his books, exactly what we're talking about, this kind of stuff. But let me read Neil's comment. He says, I did not experience any UFO connections or see lights and experience paranormal activity until I was 50 years old, after a lifetime being passionate about the topics. That's so cool. Thank you all for sharing.
That's okay. In the beginning of my life, I saw, it's like it all happened in the beginning. The aliens, the ghosts, the paranormal, the weird things, all then, and then halfway through my life, like the middle part of my life, nothing. I mean, there were little things here and there, but not like when I was a child. Then after the NDE, it's back to when I was a child. In fact, but it's stronger now.
So Howie's brother Robert says, I want to see one, but I don't want it to eat me, and it's going to scare the hell out of me. LOL.
Then you'll never see one. I can tell you this from Robert, from what I know, especially in CE5, like if you know anything about CE5, and it does work, people have been having some really, really good stuff come back from that. But it's been explained over and over in CE5, if there's anybody in your group who has any fear, they most likely won't show up, because contrary to popular demand, there really aren't any aliens here that want us to fear them. There's no reason for it. They're way ahead of us. They're way ahead of us, even intellectually. In true intellect, there is no fear in true intellect. There's no need.
No, our propensity for violence is very troubling and very confusing to them. And as I understand it, we could get into the council and the Galactic Council and all of these beings around here, right? That are around here up in the universe. But all I keep hearing when I connect to that side is human beings are a young race. They respect our gift of free will on this planet. So it's kind of like if you look at Star Trek and the Prime Directive, from what I understand from channeling and connecting, that they basically follow that. They do not interfere with what we are doing down here. Yep. But Neil added, and I've done nothing particularly different. I have no idea why I'm experiencing, because he did correct it, why I'm experiencing all of this stuff suddenly. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but there's no going back. Can't put the lid back on Pandora's box, right, Dave?
Yeah, you can't. I couldn't go back to, I mean, even when I was a kid, there's this stuff that's just, it's unforgettable. You can't unsee some of this stuff. Some of the stuff that happens to you, or realize it's just there now. You can pretend all you want, but it's always going to be there. Always, always, always. I could tomorrow say, you know what? I'm going to get rid of my website. I'm going to go get a job at the General Dollar store and just live in a shack and sit on my couch on the porch in the South here for the rest of my life. It's still, nothing would go away. Everything would still be there. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's okay, because all that means is that you're remembering who you really are.
Yes.
When you start to remember who you really are, knows for a fact that all these things exist in some way, shape, or form.
And just remember that when things happen, it's the right time for it to happen, Neil. So when it happens, it was just the right time. And you may not have all the answers now, but the fact that you're here and you've written some pretty profound, incredible statements here. So it sounds like you're in the right place at the right time, really. And just being open to receiving what's unfolding is a beautiful gift in itself, I think. And I do want to add, though, because I want to comment on this. I know Dave's going to comment on it. So thanks for everything you guys are sharing. You guys always make this show. We really appreciate y'all. And Shannon Casey says, one of my friends is convinced if she sees an owl flying, someone is going to die. And I want to comment, I know Dave's got lots to say, I can already hear it, is that, okay, for your friend, remember, we are incredible manifestors. Now, whether that comes from a belief system, whether it comes from a familial belief system, whatever that is, right? Because she believes that, she will have that experience. But for everyone else, I remember once I was talking to someone, I've always loved the numbers 111, 1111. It's always been very positive to me, and it always tells me that I'm on the right track. That's a sign from my guides. I ran into somebody once who worked with very dark things and told me 111 and 11 and 1111 and blah, blah, blah was evil. It was all this dark stuff. And I was astounded. Well, what the heck is this person talking about? Then I did some research. Yes, indeed, it can be that way. And I think what it is it's all about perspective. So if you believe this to be so, that's the experience you will get. I know, Dave, go. I know you're going to add lots.
You make your own experiences, but the whole thing is, it's not that it has happened. It's not that it's going to happen, but it's going to fit someplace into your life because that's what you're thinking.
No, but you'll get the experience. Like normal people, not normal. Sorry, please let me take that back.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody will see an owl and they won't have that experience. But exactly what you said, your friend may see an owl. You're anticipating it, and things will sort of all fall into play, if you will. Whereas another person may not even notice the owl flying by. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're honed in on it. It's part of your belief system.
Yeah, it is. It's a part of your.
It's not making it happen. And I think, is that what you're trying to say, Dave? It's not making it happen.
Yeah, it's not making it happen. It's going to be, it's kind of like when I've talked about like curses and hexes. If somebody tells you, I'm putting a curse on you, and you believe it, then anytime anything happens to you, you're going to directly blame it on the curse.
Perfect.
It's not going to be. It's all going to be. And that's the same thing with the owl. I can tell you this, though. That's okay if she has that belief.
And it's okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's totally fine. The weird thing about that belief is, boy, you're missing out on the really coolness of owls. You know?
But she may think that oh, I don't want to say it. I keep coming up. I won't say it because it'll start a whole controversy about the shape of where we live. But my point is, some people are so passionate about that, right? And I've had people say to me, well, you're not seeing it. You're just not seeing it. You're missing out on all this stuff. You're passionate about it and you love it. And it's amazing and wonderful. And you be your wonderful self. And it really doesn't matter to me. But I hear what you're saying, right? But there's fear in that statement. And again, I'm not saying this with any judgment. There is nothing wrong with her believing that. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas you see the pot, you said it earlier, Dave, in our live, right? See the glass half full or the glass half empty.
Yeah,
it's a choice.
You gotta see. If you see everything half full, you're gonna be different. Yeah, it's the same. It's your experience. It's how you think. That's why I tell people. Is there I'm like, I don't believe in demons and all that. Now, that doesn't mean just because I don't believe in them that they don't exist somewhere on this earth. But when I tell people, I'm like, I'm coming from the other side, not the lower realms. I'm talking about when you go over there, there aren't any demons. But if you stay in the lower realms, they are, and they are here with us. And it's up to you whether you want to experience it. Because
I just want to hug you how you said that right now.
Because of how I am and how I work and my, let's say, path to how I'm supposed to assist people, I don't put that in my experience. Since I don't put that in my experience, I can tell you this, I am totally safe from it, because I've had other mediums go, don't you put protection on yourself when you go into a haunted house? I'm like, no, I have nothing to protect myself from, because of the fact it's not in my experience. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why. It could be in somebody else's experience, though, and I might experience it with them. The only difference is I'm not going to experience the fear part. I would probably experience the, well, look at there. That thing's kind of mean. You know, that might just be how it comes up for me. I don't know. But I have to say, in my lifetime, I've had some scary stuff happen to me, but I don't dwell on it. I don't care. You know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of people. People say, what if there's a ghost in the woods? I'm like, I'm not worried about a ghost in the woods. I'm worried about the drunk with the machete standing behind me. That's the guy I don't want to deal with.
Yeah, I have to say, people. Yeah, we'll have to do a show on that one day.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get to that topic about AI versus good old-fashioned conversation. That's okay, because this is amazing. We still got some of these to get to. So Kelly Council, you want to read Kelly Council's comment?
Because she's got two of them. She's got another one too.
Okay, so she said, my boyfriend and I were driving through Montgomery, Alabama. We made a turn onto a new road on the then outskirts of town. There was a white creature laying in the middle of the road. We got to get more details. Was it a rake? Was it a tall white? Was it hairy? What was it? I don't know.
I know. I love stuff like that. When I was younger, me and my ex.
Oh, wait, she gave us more, but go ahead.
Go ahead. We came to a dead stop about 5 feet from it. It seemed like a minute or so, but then it got up and it towered over the hood of the car. Furry, all white, on all fours.
Wow. The Yeti in the wrong place? Like, did he just like go through a portal and end up there? Oh, wait, she added something else. Okay, there we go. Ooh, this is quite the story. You want to read the rest, Dave?
Was standing on the side of the road. My intuition with this thing was pitching a fit, and what seemed like a traditional Bigfoot was coaxing it out of the middle of the road.
Interesting.
Interesting. And I am not going to deny that at all, because
me neither. Like, what if it was a baby? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe they get albinoism in their, like, why do we have Yeti that they report them very light colored? Like, what if this okay, here I am making up stories again, but just what if?
Yeah, what if?
What if it was a young Bigfoot and it did have white fur, whether it was
the Bigfoot in the Himalayas or Tibet, which are called Yetis.
Yes.
White.
No, but say it was a genetic thing and this baby or toddler or preschooler, and I'm equating it to humanism, I know, but I'm talking about developmental age. So say it was all white, whether it was albinoism, whatever it was, right? And mama did not want this baby being seen because white is going to show up everywhere, whereas Bigfoot kind of melts into its surroundings. So that kind of makes sense to me that mom is like, come on, little one, like, you're not going to be having your temper tantrum here. This is not the place to do it. Kind of like in Walmart, in the grocery line, right? And your 2-year-old decides to pitch a fit right in the middle of the cereal thing, and everyone's looking at you.
I had mine, not a Bigfoot, but speaking of, I think I told you about that. Me and Bob were driving. We were going up to the cabin of a friend of mine. And it was I think it was like Horicon Marsh or something like that in Wisconsin. We're talking like this part of Wisconsin, the houses, there's like a house, and then 7 miles away, there's another house. And, they all had like their water systems. And yeah, it was very, 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 very wrong turn type of neighborhood, like from the movie. I mean, the entire place, it's like, you stopped at a gas station and there's a creepy old man ready to pump your gas going, y'all be careful now, okay? There's no
Dave,
it was a terrible,
you went into an alternative reality.
Yeah, it was awful. But anyway, we went out late to a friend of his and we called him F and Floyd. I did. I called him effing Floyd, but I didn't say effing. I said the whole word. And the reason I did is because this gentleman who lived out there, literally every other word was with the F word. He used it like I don't know how he used that word. It was
adjective, noun, pronoun, like it just fit everywhere.
we ended up being at this
They
dude's
were
house.
flying.
We ended up being at this dude's house. It was late into the night, probably about 10, 11 o'clock. And we had to go back to the cabin, which is a good like 40 minutes away. And it was a terrible snowstorm. So we got in the car and we're driving down this 1-lane road. And it's just like all the scary things. You can only see what's in the headlights, the headlights shining and the snow's falling and hitting. We had this big, gigantic white ball that just came straight towards the windshield, went up and over the car. And both of us he pulled over, he stopped, we kind of skid a little bit. And we were both like, did you see that? And I'm like, I saw that. Did you see that? I saw that too. And I'm like, he right away just turned it was an owl. But it wasn't. But we had no other way. So I seeing stuff on the side of the road like that, or either the Bigfoot or being a white Bigfoot or anything, I can't say there's a doubt about it because I know we all tell our stories, but those stories originate from some kind of truth.
Have you seen the stories? That was spooky. But have you seen the stories? I have seen people actually say this. Now, I don't believe there's a hell. You don't believe there's a hell. Okay. In lower dimensions, yes, you get some pretty nasty stuff. But my whole point is, and we've actually seen, I saw one at my old house across the road. It's about the size of a small bus. I kid you not. I was talking to a friend on the phone. I just colored my hair and she was asking me what color I'd used. And I said, well, hang on. The garbage can's right. I'll just go out the front door and I'll grab it. As I step out there, I see the most magnificent, I kid you not, I wish I had thought to take a picture. Massive, the size of a small bus, white, silverish wolf. And it's walking very slowly, probably about 10 feet across the road from me. And it turns to look at me and it's got the most beautiful, I'm getting goosebumps, incredible aqua eyes. So it's walking, it comes to the corner, looks at me again, and it starts to slowly cross the street. My friend's going, Lorilei, get in the house. Lorilei, get in the house. I'm going, why? Are you seeing this? I'm having the phone turned around. She can't see it. As it walks about another 5 feet, it goes past the telephone pole and it disappears. And she's screaming at me, get in the house. Fine, I'll go in the house. I get in the house. I go, why were you yelling at me to get in the house? You didn't hear all that growling and snarling. I said, no. Then my eldest kid, who didn't even know what I was doing, this is about 2 a.m, he goes, Mom, what was growling at you outside? My kid could hear it. So I don't know what that was, but the reason why I bring all this up. So I've seen that one. Then we saw on our security camera, just as large, black with red glowing eyes. We weren't outside. We could see it on the security cameras, old house. And I've heard people talk about this. Now, some people refer to it as a hellhound. Again, there is no hell, but these things are massive. They are fast, like people are going 60 miles an hour, and they'll follow them. Some people have had scratches on the side of their car, but it's almost like they cross a certain, like literally an invisible line across the road, and these things seem to not be able to go any further. Has anybody heard of these before?
I've heard of something that relates to the hellhounds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot about it.
I don't know what they are. They're not dogmen.
I did hi, Melissa.
Here, I'll go down to the bottom. You guys are trying to read all your comments. You guys are giving us all these interesting. Everybody's going, awesome show. It was huge. Hang on. Melissa says hi. Cheryl says, gotta go. Love to you both. Love you, Cheryl. I'm so glad you could drop in. Like, this is crazy, some of this stuff. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't know what this was. Wait, we got all kinds of comments as I'm going back. Here, I'll read this. I just highlighted this one. But I don't know what those are. Like, I would love to know what people's thoughts are. Like I said, I felt no danger when I saw the silver one. And I don't have the words to explain the color of aqua glowing blue eyes this was. It was so magnificent and so beautiful. I felt in no danger. maybe people that were afraid, I don't know, they were hearing growling and snarling. I heard nothing with this experience I had in my previous home.
You ever, you know, I was thinking, and I don't know if this is it, but you guys, I always tell people the path to reality is through your imagination. Remember that.
She couldn't hear it.
You wonder if there's like a parallel dimension you're seeing, and they're hearing from the parallel dimension. And for all you know, that dog could have been with a bunch of other dogs, and those were the ones growling. Those are the ones that they were hearing.
I don't know. Because like I said, and don't get me wrong, I've always said if you're dealing with something that's possibly been here since the beginning of time, long before humans were ever here, and we're just one tiny little human, and I don't care how astute we are and how sensitive we are, okay? We're not 100% infallible, even when it comes to picking up stuff from spirit, getting messages from spirit, whatever it is. That I have seen, the best of the best have had issues with certain things energetically. You think that something that, say that thing was older than time, right? And it masked its true personality from me or its nature. But to me, it was so big, and we're talking 10 feet. And I didn't see it till I was down the stairs and opening the garbage can lid. Like it would have taken me a good 30 seconds to get back up the stairs. It would have been there. It was so big, but I felt nothing negative. It was so incredible. It was one of the, I considered it a gift to see something like this.
Fun stuff. I love it.
I do too.
The hotter the better. I just don't get, I'm to that point in my life and in my spirituality where nothing phases me. I don't know what something very odd would have to walk down my road before I went, oh, that's weird.
Okay, so Robert says, hopefully I'm saying this right, a Lothal wolf. Dang. So is that what you're talking about? Maybe what I saw, this white, silvery, beautiful.
And yeah, because like the hellhounds would walk into the dead land among the dead. I'm not quite sure if I'm correct on this, Mr. Odell, Robert Odell, but I think that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or if you know better, didn't the hellhounds hang out though sometimes before people passed away or when people were from graveyards? Because the hellhounds were the ones who guarded the gates of hell.
Wasn't that Cerberus though, with the three-headed dog that guarded it?
There's so many different ones. There's also the ones from, they tried to use part of that in the original Ghostbusters movie, but
I remember that. It was so bad. Special effects.
Special effects, but actually what they were talking about, the picking your destroyer thing and all that, that's not just from a movie, that's from something else.
But you know what though? Okay, I don't watch a lot of TV, and anybody that knows me, I love Supernatural and I miss it. But when I started looking, like they'd come up with these stories, especially the first season I liked because they'd actually get into monster hunting versus trying to demonize angels and hanging out with demons. I had a problem with that, so did Del. But anyways, they'd get into these storylines, and some of the stuff, even with the angels and stuff they'd bring up, when you looked into it, there was a lot of legend and lore or documentation to support what they were talking about. Like even the language of Enochian, like that existed. Apparently they had somebody that was able to translate and actually figured out how to, I guess, speak Enochian. I don't know who you'd be speaking it to because nobody else speaks it. Hey, Kelly Hopkins, welcome.
No, it's all strange. I love it all. And you guys, I know we're getting to that.
Dean.
We're getting to that point.
Have we got another 5 minutes or all my clocks behind?
It's 8:47. I think we got like 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes. Yeah. Do. So
what I was gonna say about the hellhounds. The weird thing was with hellhounds. This is why I do a lot of research, and this is why I stay skeptical, and this is why I'm always looking things up before I make a determination. Is that I do know from talking to my guides and from being where I was in 2015, which is also an experience that was tailored to me, so not everybody will have that same one. But the thing is, a lot of demons and stuff like that came in with religion. Before
Absolutely.
religion wasn't here, I don't know. I've never saw one cave writing or one Egyptian writing that showed a demon. It was always they show in those you always see alien stuff. You always see otherworldly beings, but the demons and all that didn't start to come around until religion got here. Not to say that there weren't things that were like demons, and
That's what I was going to ask you, because it's based on pagan belief systems.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Constantine that changed things, King Constantine or whatever, into the Christianity? So it had to come from something. What about within pagan belief systems?
Here's another way we can look at this. Is how I've looked at it too. So, because the world is always different dimensions, and there's different worlds. Okay,
Sure.
And in fact, there's a world where I didn't make it through my NDE, and that world is playing out without me. Mm-hmm. There's also a world where I never went into mediumship and I went into something else. That's playing out someplace. So,
or I died as a toddler, I guess. Then I didn't come back from my NDE either, right?
And they say that we could actually, like, I could have been over there and said, oh, it went through the death experience, and they said, David, you're dead, you're staying here. And I'm like, oh, really? Can I just pick back up over there so I can finish something? Sure, go for it. And then I just picked back up, and I'm in this world now, and it shifted over. So what I'm saying about demons and all this is they were in paganism and all that, but we really didn't get a big hold on that until religion.
True.
And that's when we started naming them demons and all that. In another world, those demons might be called something different. They may not have been coined that phrase. They may not have been understood as something that was a negative energy. Because remember, I said all negative energy is literally the law of correspondence. So above, so below. But so it's almost equal between negativity and positivity. But there's a third part. There's a third that a lot of people forget about. And the third part is where they both come in and they're together. You can't have positivity without negativity somewhere. It just doesn't work. So that's with like demons, to get back to it, I think demons, to me, I'm sometimes I wish I could run into something that would be considered a demon, just to like delve into it to find out why it got that label or that look. You don't understand?
They'd be happy to oblige from the lower dimensionals, but are they going to tell you the truth?
But then again, like you said, I've seen, like with what happened to you and what's happened to others, there are some things that are disturbing, and I'm not that person who wants to walk.
I'm still not 100% convinced. It was powerful, whatever it was. I identified as a demon. It gave me its name and its spelling, which is very unusual. And I'm still not convinced. But what I wanted to add on your thought, and we're going to have to sign off. Oh, you asked the best question, Facebook user, and I'll try and screenshot that for next week.
I can answer it very quickly for you.
Okay, well, give me 1 sec. What I was going to say is, have you ever watched The Golden Compass? And their little sidekicks, their energetic familiar, if you will, but in a good way, they were called demons, but they were DAEMONSs. Kelly, feel free to post your name of your business in there. She makes the most beautiful crystal bracelets. Sorry, go ahead, Dave. You wanted to answer this?
Facebook user said, "What are your thoughts on Lucifer the Fallen?"
I have lots I want to say though, so I'm going to screenshot it too.
In my experience through my life and through my NDE, no, Lucifer the fallen angel, it doesn't exist as a devil. There may be an angel called Lucifer. Actually, all the names that we give angels are because their names are biblical. They're all in the Bible. But angels were around long before religion. I don't believe there is an angel that fell to earth and made humanity evil.
We could do a bit of a show next week unless we find a different
we can talk about that next week. I know a whole lot of crap about that. I know a lot about it.
I knew it was a good topic. So I've screenshotted it, Kim. We'll try and remember it. But we got to run now. But I want to tell you before we sign off and everything, please stay tuned. If you're into this kind of talk and great paranormal shows, we've got The Outer Realm on Wednesday nights with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, and they are on again tonight at 9 p.m. So check them out. They've got a great show. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's it.
How can I find you though?
If you need to get a hold of me or want to schedule a reading or anything like that, you can go to my website, theywhispertome.com. I never ever DM people or message
His site
people.
looks amazing, you guys. It's incredible.
I've got a lot of impersonators, so you can go to that to get a hold of me. You can find me on just about any social media under Medium David Hanzel, and my YouTube is a Spirit Experience. My short form pre-recorded podcast is called Mystic Stew. Type it in, it'll show up. I have it's short form. So if you only feel like 20 minutes or you just want to listen to something on the way to work, that's your podcast.
And TikTok.
Like I said, TikTok, there's 1 billion followers. Not 1 billion. You find me on TikTok under Medium David Hanzel as well. Any social media, it's going to be under Medium David Hanzel.
Yes, and you can find me here. Actually, we'll be back next Thursday, same time, same space here on the thing at the foot of bed. The thing at the foot of the bed at 7 p.m. But I will be back. My mouth does not want to work. It's time to end. I will be back on Monday night. We're having a pre-birthday party because my birthday is on Tuesday, August 15th. August 14th, Monday, on the Angel Rock, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm having another host from the network, new show. Some of you will be familiar with her because I played the EVP I picked up when I was producing her show with Rick McCallum. It's Carrie Lynn Shellhorn from Spirit Switchboard. Her show will be on tomorrow. I believe it's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys got to check it out. She's got great guests. She's intuitive. She's got a great Facebook thing. We are going to have so much fun because we had so much fun on her show. So think of some questions to ask because anything you can think of. She even asked me on her show who my paranormal fangirl experience or who I fangirled over. I hadn't even thought of it, but I did answer it. So that's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Monday. If you ever want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Facebook.com/The Angel Rock. And I have 2 groups. That's to book readings, guest or show idea. I do crystal Reiki. I do teaching and mentoring. 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal and the Angel Rocker Tribe for all things spiritual. And you can find me on any social media platform under the Angel Rock. We love you all so much. We're so glad you all were here. We had a great show with you. We always love having you here, don't we, Dave?
We sure do. Thank you so much, everybody. If you heard a meow meow in the background, it's my big cat. He came in here.
Oh, Carmel. Okay, we're going to try it. We keep trying always. When I get my new computer, we might be able to do it at the same time.
That's right. We try to say the outro together at the same time. It never works, but we will always try, and it will work one day. 1, 2, 3.